Good day. Good day, welcome to the Great White North. I'm Dan. Our topic today is the Great White North solves Kringle Con 5. Golden rings. Okay, we start in orientation. First we need to talk to Jingle Ringford and complete their terminal. No need for thinking too on this one, just type answer. The gate will open letting us in. But we need to do one thing before we move on. Visit the Kringle coin teller machine and write this very important information down. Don't be like me and do this on your phone, then fail to write down the key. But if you do, I will show you how to recover this later on. At the North Pole you can talk to Santa, but we really need to get underground. Head to the door that is ajar and we can descend. Head down the ladder to the first landing, then go left, head into the Hall of Talks. Head all of the way to the left of the map, there is a chest to collect, then back out and down the ladder again. Stop on the last rung and head left and up, you can collect chest number 2. Continue down to the bottom of the ladder and go into the Tolkien ring door. Our first stop here is Sparkle Redberry and the Wireshark fishing terminal. Get the PCAP to investigate from the objectives on your badge. Download it and open it in Wireshark. The question is, there are objects in the PCAP file that can be exported by Wireshark and or T-Shark. What type of objects can be exported from this PCAP? Open Wireshark, go to File, Export Objects and see which one works. It is Hypertext Transport Protocol. What is the name of the largest file? There is 3 files listed here, but the largest is app.php. What is the start of the file? It is 687. What is the IP of the Apache server? There is a GET issued to 192.185.57.242 on packet number 6. That is our Apache server. What is the file saved to the host? Right-click the GET on number 6 and select Follow Stream. What countries are in the SSL source? Filter for Saline Shake type 11. Look for packets with info of server hello, certificate, server key exchange, server hello. Expand the path on the screenshot and look for a dead country name. Is this host infected? Yes, hoser. Let's move on to the next terminal with Dusty Gift Wrap, Windows Event Logs. When did the attack start? Get the PowerShell file. December 24th, 2022. That's when our logs start, hoser. An attacker got a secret from a file. What was the name of the file? We have multiple files referenced. They talk about secret recipes. It is recipe.txt. The contents of the previous file were retrieved, changed, and stored to a variable by the attacker. This was done multiple times. Submit the last full PowerShell line that performed only these actions. The equal symbol is the storing of a variable. That is what we need to look for. After storing the altered file contents into the variable, the attacker used the variable to run a separate command that wrote the modified data to a file. This was done multiple times. Submit the last full PowerShell line that performed only this action. Using the pipe we can move the contents of a variable to a command. Look for pipes. The attacker ran the previous command against a file multiple times. What is the name of this file? We can see a file name in this block of commands. Recipe.txt. Was there any files deleted? Let's look for a PowerShell delete command. Yes, there was files deleted. Was the original file deleted? No. What is the event of the log that shows the actual command line used to delete the file? Add on to our last command -B3, then pipe to head. 4104 is the answer. Is the secret ingredient compromised? Yes. What was it? We know it was replaced with fish oil, so the answer is honey. On to the last terminal for this ring with Fitzy Shortstack, the Suricata Regatta. First, please create a Suricata rule to catch. DNS. Lookups for adv. Posted AOK. Whenever there's a match, the alert message should read known bad. DNS lookup possible Dridex infection. Add your rule to Suricata rules. We have Suricata rules to edit and rule checker to see if we have done it correctly. The rule on line 5 is already what we need. It just needs a little tweaking and we will have it. Yank and paste it to the end and make sure to give it a new SID, then alter it. We just need DNS query and the content of adv posted AOK. Create a rule like in my screenshot and run rule checker. Sync thanks you for your work with the DNS record. In this PCAP it points to 192, 185, 57, 242. Develop a surrogate rule that alerts whenever the infected IP address 192, 185, 57, 242 communicates with internal systems over Hypertext Transfer Protocol. When there's a match, the message should read investigate suspicious connections, possible Droidex infection. Now we need to look for Hypertext Transfer Protocol communication, and we have a target IP to look for. We have an idea of what we need from line 1, but I think we can do better. Add 2 new lines to the bottom that look like mine. We can look for traffic going to and from our homenet with Hypertext Transfer Protocol to and from that host. I guess we are still not done. More to look for. We heard that some naughty actors are using TLS certificates with a specific common name. Develop a surrogate rule to match an alert on an SSL certificate for herd Belith Ikanwaipi. When your rule matches, the message should read investigate bad certificates, possible Droidex infection. We need TLS with a specific common name. I did not solve this by editing an existing rule, but this should be easy enough. Like the Hypertext Transfer Protocol alert, we can do a TLS and look for content. Okay, one more to rule them all and in the darkness find them. Let's watch for one line from the JavaScript, let by the characters at up. Oh, and that string might be zip compressed, I hope that's okay. Just in case they try this again, please alert on that data with message suspicious JavaScript function, possible Droidex infection. So we know it has compression and we have content again to search for. This time we need to search the content of the file with file data, create a rule like mine, run rule checker, and we are done. We are not done with the token ring just yet. We have a trapdoor hidden under the table. Go down and left until you hit the chest. Now we are done here. Okay, good day token ring. We can move on to the next, head back out and continue down the ladder to Elfin Ring. But do not go in yet. We have another chest to collect. There is a rope in the doorway, head down and to the left to collect it. Our next terminal is clone with a difference of with Bo9 candle. We just need you to clone one repo, git clone git at hot factory as no bolo scripts git. This should be easy, right? The thing is, it doesn't seem to be working for me. This is a public repository though, I'm so confused. The command bow is attempting uses secure shell, but this is a public repo, so maybe we should try Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Done. The next terminal is prison escape with tinselopatry. Escape from a container, get hints for this challenge from Bo9 candle in the Elfin Ring. What hex string appears in the host file home jailers jail key prive. We have a few applications available to us in the terminal, screen and sudo. We also have a /dev to look at with drives. We can mount the disks from inside the jail and access the files. Good day prison. Onto Jolly CICD with ripping Proudbook. Exploit a CICD pipeline, get hints for this challenge from tinselopatry in the Elfin Ring. Now we are starting to get a little more complicated, so we might need our thinking tools deployed. What we are attempting to do is inject code into the Git repository to have it deployed on our target. The first task we need to do is talk to tinselopatry. They have the Git repository we need. Then we have to do the most important step of this challenge. Wait, and it is a longer wait than you think. So keep waiting. Our target is GitLab 172.18.0.150. We can deploy the hint we got, and we know that to do it with Hypertext Transfer Protocol since we did this in a previous challenge. While this gets us the repo, we are not going to be able to push changes back over Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We're going to need to find another method of access. Great, we have a clone of the repository. That means we also have the commit log. Run git log. The hoops commit looks like a great place to start. Run git diff hoops entry. There is the keys that we need. Make sure you do not copy the extra dashes or you are going to have a bad time. Sudo to root, but we cannot just put the key in .sys deploy. We're going to need to name it something specific, but what? We have a hint in the public file we snarfed. Let's change the name to IDA 25,000. 519 and use chmod 600 on it. That looks much better. Let's try it again. We have another copy of the repository, but with this copy we have the access to push changes back. We know that there is a file on WordPress that we need to access. We could get a shell or we could just guess. We will add a new file to the website at PHP, then we will tell Git to add it, then commit our change. It should be active as soon as we can finish typing out our command. Only if you do not forget to do a git push, because I did. Then get WordPress flag net internal kit. And we're done, host head. Let's go back out and head down the ladder to the web ring. Head in and we need to talk to Alabaster Snowball. We will get a zip file with a log and pcap inside. Open the file in Wireshark. Most of the traffic to this site is nice, but one IP address is being naughty. Which is it? The victim web server is 10.12.42.16. Which host is the next top talker? Click statistics and points. The talker is 18.222.86.32. The first attack is a brute force login. What's the first username tried? We can do this on the command line with TCP dump and grep. The next attack is forced browsing, where the naughty one is guessing URLs. What's the first successful URL path in this attack? The web error log and the command line is where we are getting this. Look for a string of 404 followed by a 200. The last step in this attack was to use V6 to get secret keys from the IMD service. What URL did the attacker force the server to fetch? There is IP addresses that host this kind of information, specifically 169.254, 169.254. And we are done. We now need to open the door to Borea. This is 6 locks that we need to use SVGs to open. The locks are not specifically difficult. You can use SVG shapes to connect them. Path works really well. You can set coordinates. Only lock 4 and 5 have client protection. You can disable them with the dev tools of Firefox. To remove the protection, right-click the lock and go to Inspect and remove the Ambler statement. Then we should have 6 locks unlocked. The last challenge for this ring, the Materials Fountain. I personally think this was the most difficult challenge this year, so I had to pull my thinking down really far to figure it out. I also found no use for the entry ticket or the snack. We can do all of this in the Network tab in Firefox DevTools. You will have to drop all of the images on the princess and the fountain, and eventually you will get a screen with 3 rings on it. Open the Network tab in the console and drop something on the princess. You will see the initial post at the top of your list. Right-click that post and select Edit and Resend. We had several hints about what language to talk, but what we need is XML. To set the content type to application XML, then we can issue our payload. It is just a path to the file on the web server. This took me the most time to figure out. We did get a hint about app, and we can see where everything else is stored. I just kept guessing until I got it. Our first target is the ring list, or a simple format like ringlist.txt. We have the list now. There is a few items on this list. We have the name on the folder. We also have 2 rings listed. But we are missing rings. We know she likes her rings. You need to add the name on the folder to our path. It is a less than subtle hint. You can check out the blue and red rings, but we maybe should look at the silver ring. This looks good. We have another image to look at. The red ring tells us to look for gold ring deleted.txt. We got a response with that, but with another clue in it. It seems to be pointing us at rect type. That would be in our payload. This took me a really long time, and I ended up guessing to put this payload in the rect type like it said, and I just picked an image name for the imdraw. It gives us our needed file name in this response. Good day, web ring. We can go back out now and down the ladders again to get to the cloud ring. Once we get down the ladder, go all of the way to the left, and then there is a chest to collect. Next up is Jill Underpole. This is a walkthrough, so you can put your thinking away, but pay attention. We need to know this stuff. Just follow along. Next, it wants us to do some tasks and even sends us to documentation to know what to do. Run the configure command and copy the values in. Next, we need to get our caller identity. Again, we get pointed at the documentation we need. We are done. We need to go talk to Jerdy Snowborough now and download a Git repository. Good thing we're experts with those now. Use Truffle Hub to find secrets in a Git repository. Work with Jill Underpole in the Cloud Ring for hints. What's the name of the file that has those credentials? It is policy.py. Talk to Sulfred and complete the terminal. Flex some more advanced AWS skills to escalate privileges. Help Jerdy Snowborough in the Cloud Ring to get hints for this challenge. Flex some more advanced AWS skills to escalate privileges. Help Jerdy Snowborough in the Cloud Ring to get hints for this challenge. We can now put our new skills to some use. Use Truffle Hub to find credentials in the GitLab instance at Hug Factory. Come as Nobalo script. Git then configure the credentials for Assist1. First, we can issue a Truffle Hug against the Git repo over Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That first commit, I think, is worth investigating. Let's run a git diff to see what it did. There is what we need right there in policy.py again. We can now run the configure command as asked. On to the next task. Managed, think shared, policies can be attached to multiple users. Use the AWS CLI to find any policies attached to your user. Now, view or get the policy that is attached to your user. Attached policies can have multiple versions. View the default version of this policy. Inline policies are policies that are unique to a particular identity or resource. Use the AWS CLI to list the inline policies associated with your user. Now, use the AWS CLI to get the only inline policy for your user. The inline user policy named as 3perms disclose the name of an as3 bucket that you have permissions to list objects. List those objects. The attached user policy provided you several Lambda privileges. Use the AWS CLI to list Lambda functions. AWS CLI Lambda list functions. Lambda functions can have public URLs from which they are directly accessible. Use the AWS CLI to get the configuration containing the public URL of the Lambda function. Now we are done. Before we head into the burning ring of fire, we have a chest to get. I would give you directions, but I won't because I did not write them down. You will need to get to the bottom of the ladder, then head all the way right, then up and left, and keep trying till you get there. Good luck with that. We need to go purchase a hat. This should be pretty easy. Unless you pulled a me and you do not have your key. Since I do not have the key, we need to go back outside to get it. Head back up to the North Pole. Go to the left of the main building and walk all of the way back, then head right. We have arrived at the Santa Magic and we can get our key again. We'll engage the Santa Magic terminal and this time pay very close attention to what it says. You will get a very long and specific list of items to complete to get your key back. Just kidding. It will tell you at the end. We can head back down and get our hat now. Browse the hats and pick which one you want. You will need to take note of the wallet to send to and the ID. Next, we need to go to the Kringla coin teller machine and approve the transfer to get our shiny new hat. Use the target to address we just recorded and the amount, which should be 10, and your key that we just recovered from Santa. And we are done with this one. Blockchain divination. Use the Blockchain Explorer in the Burning Ring of Fire to investigate the contracts and transactions on the chain. At what address is the Kringla coin smart contract deployed? Find hints for this objective hidden throughout the tunnels. But go to block 4. This has a to and from. I picked this because I checked a couple blocks and it came up more than once. It was not scientific by any means, but it works. On to exploit a smart contract. We are on to the last challenge. You need to make sure you have at least 100 coins to complete this, so I hope you did not purchase too many hats. Also, do not freak out. It is rated as a 5-tree challenge, but it is not that hard even though we're messing with blockchains. To be honest, I still get a twitch in my eye when I start to think about question 11b. There is a couple hints that will help more than the others. You should watch Professor Petabyte on YouTube to better your understanding of what we need to do. Also, his Git repository is going to help a lot. I mean, you can do this by yourself. Just let me know when you are done. Clone his repository and review the instructions to get Docker running. The professor does an excellent job explaining how to complete this in the documentation. I do not think I need to regurgitate that. Also, this animation is really hard. We are going to need two pieces of information. One, our wallet address that we have. Two, a known good wallet address from the site. We can just go get one, visit the gallery page and pick one. Once you have the Docker running, copy merkletree.py to a new file so we can edit it. I copied mine to t.py. Edit the allow list. Add the wallet you picked first from the gallery, then followed by your own. That is it, you are done. Well, one more thing. We need to edit the print proof line so it is printing the correct entry in the array, to change it from 0 to 1 since we are the second member of the allow list and 0 would be the first. There we have our root and proof. Set up a transfer to the wallet ID listed in the transaction instructions. One last step, we are going to need to mess with a post command to finish the sale off. Head to the presale section and send a post. It does not matter what you put in the entries. Click go. It is going to fail, but that is okay. Edit and resend the post in Firefox just like we did previously. Make sure your wallet ID, calculated proof and calculated root is entered correctly. Click send. You should now be the proud owner of your very first and I hope last NFT. Thanks for watching and putting up with this voice. I tried to record this myself and realized I need to talk less.